2, 1. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Gamers Lounge podcast. My name is John Meadows. With me as always, Eric, Nathaniel, and Robert. How's it going, guys?
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, it is dark. It's funny now. It's actually getting dark outside at 7:30, 8 o'clock. Here before long, we'll be recording at 8 o'clock, and the kids will still be out playing, and and the sun will be shining, and it'll be 120 degrees outside.
That doesn't sound too bad. I'm okay with that.
Not 120.
It's not 120 inside, I'm fine.
Yeah, I mean, that air conditioner cranking like nobody's business and the electric bill being like $5,000. But hey, it's okay. It's no big deal.
Where do you live, Arizona?
We all got to stay cold. Yeah, I know. Well, it feels like 120 here when the humidity cranks up. I don't know. I guess you guys don't have much humidity up that way.
Dry high desert heat.
Yeah.
So.
That must be nice.
It's pretty good. I mean, if I have to deal with the heat, I'd rather deal with that than, the humidity, where it's like, oh, it's 90, but it's also 90% humidity. I'm like, I'm sweating.
Yeah.
And I'm not doing anything.
Yeah, it stinks because you could, cut it with a knife. It's ridiculous. And, it's like 9, 10, 12 o'clock at night, and it's still, 80 degrees with 110% humidity, and it's just
miserable.
I don't even notice it anymore.
It is. It's gross. Well, I'm not a skinny fella, so I notice it pretty quick when I start walking around, and, I don't like it. I'd much rather have it cold. I can always put more clothes on. I can only take so many clothes off.
People start yelling at you.
Yeah. You don't want to go too far cold because you can't put that many clothes on.
Well, that's true. Yeah, if I got to look like Ralphie's brother from his arms are all stuck out, that might be a little bit
like a slug. It's only different.
Yeah, it might not be. Might not be the best way. Yeah, it might not be the best thing, but whatever. But well, there we go. There's our weather report out of the way right off the bat.
It's the first segment.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely.
It's always the secret first segment.
Yeah.
We cover the weather, in a whole bunch of different places, so that no matter where you are, one of us has the same weather as you.
Well, we're on one side of the country. Well, we just don't have the middle covered. We've got one side of the country and the other side. We just don't have the middle.
Planet.
Well, that's true, but it's dark over there right now. No, wait a minute. I guess the sun's coming up over there right now, so it doesn't matter. They're living in the future.
They're telling us what the weather's like.
They're telling us what we're gonna say in a few minutes. It's crazy.
Yeah,
this is all scripted.
That was one of my favorite Simpsons episode ever, is where they fly to China. When they land in the airplane, the guy comes over the intercom and says, "Welcome to Beijing, where the current time is tomorrow." I love stuff like that. It cracks me up. But anyway, we'll go ahead and start talking about what we always talk about, what we've been playing, things we've been doing in gaming. Robert, you still playing Mass Effect Andromeda?
I just started Mass Effect Andromeda.
Oh, you did? Okay, that's right. That's right. You said last time that
I've been playing Monster Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I knew you'd been playing that, but I forgot that last time we talked to you, you had just got Andromeda.
Yeah, I purchased it really cheap.
I was thinking of Nathaniel who played it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just started it today, actually, so I'm not super far in.
So you haven't even gotten to the good stuff yet.
I just got to the Nexus. Is that what it's called? Mm-hmm. The space station thing. So I'm just starting to meet all the supporting characters. My twin sister hasn't even woken up yet, but so far the gameplay seems really cool. It was like Mass Effect, 2 and 3 so far as the shooting mechanics go. I haven't really had a chance to level up anything as far as biotics or techs or anything like that. But I like the hover mechanics, the boosting mechanics. There were no glitches, at least anymore, at least that I've seen. I know they've done a lot of patchwork on it. Yeah. I'm doing it on a PS4 Pro 4K TV, and it looks nice. It doesn't look amazing, but everything looks really good.
You'll like it once you get to the open world. Some of the planets will look a lot better than the space station stuff does.
I'm sure, but everything looks really, really clean. So I'm not upset with the way it looks at this point. I was a little let down by the character editor, though. I had to just kind of scrap my character and just went with the default male writer.
Oh, really? I like the character editor.
Yeah, it didn't work for me. I really like to make people look like me, And I was like, well,
Oh wow.
their beard selections are trash, so I couldn't do any of that. And I was
Yeah,
like, fine,
well-
you know what? Maybe I can make me without a beard, and it still could not get it to work. And I was just
BioWare
like,
doesn't know how to do
these presets
hair.
were- Yeah, it's really
Their
the
hair's
hair's
always
not
been
good.
trash. No,
Yeah.
like every BioWare game, the hair doesn't look that great.
Exactly, and that was
But-
the biggest problem.
The way I got around in this game is they give you a lot of color options. So I had like fire red and orange, yellow.
You're just
kinda
doing some crazy
hair.
stuff.
So it's like
Yeah,
glowing
I know
in
how
the
to go
dark.
crazy. Yeah.
And then I had a bunch of face tattoos. It was great.
I went through them. I was looking at some of the scars and stuff, and I was like, this just doesn't feel right. I always go with a relatively good character, somewhat sarcastic, and I was just like, this doesn't. My guy looks super young. I'm just not doing this. It's fine.
Yeah, I didn't play as a guy. I played as a girl. That's default Mass Effect for me.
I did.
Ben's
I
got
did
so
see
much
that there was
better.
the option to tailor the past a little bit by choosing male or female, and I don't know
There's
what
nothing.
kind of.
I have
Doesn't
no
do
idea
anything.
What that does. It must have done some minor thing somewhere, but I mean, there is a place where I thought it would come into play, but it didn't really mean anything. It didn't say
Yeah,
like male or female for the.
didn't even matter.
So I either missed it or it was just such a minor thing that it wasn't that big a deal.
I will say that the voice acting was better than I was expecting, except for one so far. I do not like the voice for the Krogan on the Nexus. It was way too clean sounding. I was just like,
Which
this doesn't
Krogan?
make the first one you meet. I've only
Oh, the
only met one.
administrator one.
Yeah, I
in
think
the
so.
office to the side. She's
Yeah.
okay. But the one that's your actual
think-
companion is better.
It was a dude.
Okay, then maybe you
But-
did see it because I thought you see. I'm trying to remember because it's been so long since I got at the beginning of that game, but I thought you saw a different Krogan before you found the one that's actually on your crew. But I could be wrong.
I don't know. And then not on my crew yet, so
Yeah,
I can't tell you.
yeah. You're like just almost at the end of the intro of the game that just happens to be a few hours long.
Yeah. But so far I like it though. I'm gonna keep playing it. I just now have even more games that I need to
Yeah,
play.
I think
It's a good game. It's just it's not great like you remember from the other Mass Effect games.
Sure.
It's-
Now, I
but
never
it's still
did
a
play
really
Mass
good
Effect
game.
3.
number 2 is so good.
I never played 3. I
I tried
wanted
it
to.
for free.
3 is
But-
amazing. 3 is the best one.
Yeah, some people say 2, some people say 3. I played 1 and 2. And out of those 2 that I played, I actually liked the first one
Me
better
too.
than the
First
second
one was
one.
much better story than 2.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah,
The second
agree.
game,
The
to
story
me,
is
there was
better.
no story. It was all side stuff, which
2
I
does
love
a lot
side
with-
stuff.
Yeah,
but-
2 does a lot with character, and then it's got its like one gimmick that has all the stuff that it could change if you do stuff differently. The end will be
Right.
different, but
Yeah.
overall, it's a lot more sci-fi in the first game that I liked. And just the overall story was a lot better in that one.
Mm.
And then 3, I really like
I
because
agree.
it's got the tech is all there because they've polished it out over 2 games, so they know what they're doing, just game, mechanics wise, and the characters are all there. They're really dialed in. All the actors know what they're doing, and the story ties everything together from all the stuff you did in the previous 2 games.
Mm.
The entire Mass Effect 3 is the ending, guys. All the people who complained about the ending of Mass Effect 3 were just doing it wrong.
I don't know what the ending is. I stayed away
Mass
from
Effect
most
3
of the spoilers,
itself
but
is the ending. That's the whole
Yeah.
game is a big ending in itself. It's not just the final few minutes of that game.
right.
Which, yeah, sure, if you don't like that, that makes sense. But they're mostly what they're complaining is like, oh, it was only a couple endings, and so we were cheated. Like, did you not play the rest of the game that actually does tie all that stuff together from your previous 2
Oh,
games?
yeah.
People? Like, come on.
People,
Yeah.
people kill me with stuff like that. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, Andromeda's good. It's got some really
Yeah.
good characters in it.
For me, for Mass Effect 2, since that's the only one I finished, I think I bought all 3 games digitally on PSN, but 2 was the only one I finished when I had it on disc. And I remember getting to the end and I totally screwed myself.
Oh no.
I didn't have you're supposed to like build those relationships, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Marty,
Yeah.
So then you send one guy do something. Sorry, spoiler. One guy do
You
something
killed
else.
everybody.
Pretty
It's
much it
just
was
Shepard
me
in
and
a
one
corner
other person
crying.
left. I was like,
I
that
think
is
I had
not-
all but one come back.
Like that is not
I
the
did
way
too. I had
wanted-
all
yeah.
but one come
Mm.
back.
I didn't know that was coming, and I had even read ahead a little
And it
bit.
was,
like, oh, great.
They kind of
I lost the
implied.
doctor.
Who did I lose? I don't remember. I didn't
I
lose the doctor.
I lost the doctor.
I didn't
I
lose the
remember.
doctors. It's fine.
I lost Legion in Mass Effect 2 on my first playthrough.
I was really impressed though. I really liked it when I played it. And 3, I started on 3, and I think I got about like 5 hours in, and I just got distracted by other stuff, and I never went back to it. But I got them all 3 digitally now, so maybe sometime.
I was out doing some training at the Vegas Air Station when 3 came out, so I just never got to it.
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah, I need to play it too.
They can be long games. I don't really know. I don't know if you could get through them in like.
Andromeda is the biggest Mass Effect game.
Oh no, because I just started like going through, and like now that I'm on the Nexus, I'm just like, oh, I have all these side quests now. I'm gonna ignore the main quest and do all these side quests.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
yeah, they're definitely not games if you just want to try to blow
Eric,
through them.
It'd be like the next Final Fantasy for me, and I'm just gonna spend the next 2 years.
40 hours.
40 hours is under what it will take to do Andromeda. If you just power through the main story, maybe.
Yeah.
But there's so much content in that game.
Right. That's good though.
I think it was about
you're getting a lot of bang for your buck, right? Think about it that way. That's
It's a very big
game. Like $15 on it.
Yeah, same here. I paid about $15.
I wanted to make sure that I actually bought it though from the developer rather than getting a used one, because I'd love to see them continue on with a Mass Effect something at some point. So
we'll see. It probably will depend
someday,
on what
maybe.
Anthem does.
Yeah.
That's
that seems to be they're piling all their eggs into the Anthem basket at the moment.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Hopefully it's good. I'm hoping.
So I've been still chipping away at Monster Hunter also.
Yeah,
and I got all my Aloy armor from Horizon.
Nice.
That's a lot of fun. I got the bow. Now I'm just working on upgrading her bow, and I'm loving that game. I put so much time into it already. Probably, I don't know. I'm probably at like 70, 75 hours into that game already. I haven't even completed the story yet. I'm just kind of screwing around, upgrading things, getting some armor. And then I'll go back and I'll play with people who are, below me and help them out, and
that's cool.
Just enjoying the experience. It's not really a game that I've ever needed to beat or anything. The story is non-existent.
That's what Monster Hunter is, right? It's just like pretty much just grind it out, have fun.
An actual end game, or are you gonna just keep playing, and then is it like?
I want to play it for the foreseeable future. I'm definitely going to be playing it less probably in the next couple of months. But I don't know. Like I'm far enough along now to where I'm getting to where I could see the end game, and with all the free expansions that they're promising, it's basically a games as a service, just like Destiny is now at this point. It's not quite as robust as that because it doesn't have all the options, but there's just a ton of content. I haven't even scratched the surface of like the optional quests or expedition stuff and investigations. All that stuff is just, there's so much stuff there.
Yeah, I haven't had time to sit down and even start it. I'm still in the tutorial section of the game. I mean,
if you want to do some co-op, you just let me know. I was thinking about buying another copy for Michelle just to help her run through some stuff.
If I ever get a chance, it's like every time I turn around, something else comes out that I just gravitate towards it.
You might have missed it, man. January was the best time.
That's a game you can always pick up and play, even without sure having online co-op. People to play with online would be fun, but at the same time, it's still an okay game to play by yourself. You just sometimes if you gotta level yourself up so freaking high to beat some of the bigger
it gets really lonely to me when I play by myself in that game, just because there's pounding your head in for hours after hours until you finally get like an inkling of what you need to do or think of a new strategy. It's just definitely helps having someone to distract the monster.
And it'll be there for a while, so I mean there'll always be a community, or there'll always be somebody playing it, or somebody that'll get on and play it, or something like that. But trouble is just so much other stuff. I got a review code for Yakuza 6 2 weeks ago, like the Monday after we recorded. So it's like the embargo is tomorrow on it, but the game don't come out for another.
That's
month.
Crazy.
That's
weird. I don't know why they. Well, I guess because it was originally supposed to come out this week. I think this week or next week. I think they just kept the embargo and everything like that. I don't know why they delayed the game though. It's like if the game's ready.
Yeah, the only thing I could think of is they wanted to press more discs.
Maybe, or maybe I don't know. It seems strange because when I got the PR or the code in the email, it said, "Oh yeah, you could start streaming and your reviews could go up the 12th." I'm like, that game don't come out for 4 weeks.
I just got my Amazon updated email about it coming out.
I got it yesterday for day one delivery for the premium edition or whatever they're calling it. So it's like, well, I could grind through it and get a review out the day the embargo lifts, or I can just wait. I think I'm going to wait a couple of weeks before I put a review out, because it seems to me you put it out too early. By the time the game comes out, nobody's going to pay any attention to the review anyway. So, or they've read it months ago or a month ago. So I'm going to I've played enough of it.
You could always revisit it.
I can't. Yeah, I can't say a whole lot about it, which I don't understand why they even put an embargo on it. The Japanese version has been out for 2 years or something like that. So
I don't know.
I mean, it's not. Yeah, they're
different.
weird like that.
You don't understand.
Well, what's even weird about it is they were like, okay, don't stream anything. If you're going to stream, don't stream anything past chapter 4. I'm like, there's already tutorials on the entire game online. It's just in Japanese with somebody talking over it about what they're saying and stuff like that. Why are you even worried about spoiling the story at this point? If anybody really wanted to find out the story, they could go online and find out.
I still haven't decided if I'm even going to pop it in and play when I get it, because I haven't finished 0. I haven't played 3, 4, or 5.
Well, you don't have to play any of those to do them, to play it. I mean, yeah, it helps to have a little of the backstory, but there's a nice little convenient thing in the options menu that you can watch the entire story of Yakuza from 0 to now.
Oh, great.
That has, they do that in every game. Every game has that, except 0.
It's kind of cool.
It's
I still got Kiwami all sealed and on my shelf. I got to get to it.
Well, what's bad is I still buy them, but I get review copies in, so I buy them and just stick them on the shelf and keep them. But I have the digital ones. But yeah, if you don't, I mean, I recommend sometime going back and playing them. But
I don't have a
have
PS3
to.
anymore, and it's not on PlayStation now.
Well, you can buy.
Yes, they are. They're
of them?
on PlayStation now.
I thought they used to be,
I
and
know.
then they got removed.
No, I think they just added them. I think it's 3
That's
or
a
4
lot
is
of
on
game.
PlayStation now. It is a lot of game.
And I mean, 2 will probably get remade.
It is getting remade. It's in Japan. They haven't said if it's coming out over here.
I'm sure it'll come out over here, and it'll be. I mean, it's a lot easier to get it that way than versus going and picking up the PS2 copy, because I think they're still up there in value, at least like $20-$30 a pop for 1 and 2.
2 isn't anymore. They actually
Reprinted
1 and 2.
it,
They
right?
actually reprinted them a couple weeks ago or a couple months ago. So the price of 2 was really up there around $100, and it dropped down to about $30 after they reprinted it.
If I haven't played 1 and 2, and 2 gets the treatment and gets put on PS4, might as well play it that way.
Yeah, I mean, I know
Tomorrow
the
they want
Japanese.
HD
I know they're going to release it in Japan. Like I said, they haven't said if they're releasing it here. I'm pretty sure they will.
0 sold really well, I thought, and so did Kiwami.
0, both of them did. Yeah. So I think they're calling it Kiwami 2 or however you say it. I don't.
And it was like it had dropped in price so quick. I think I got it for $20 on Black Friday. I was like, with the Steelbook, I'm in.
It's still. We were out shopping yesterday, and it's still $20 in most of the stores that have it in the Steelbook.
That's cool.
One of the Best Buys had.
Yeah, I mean, might as well get it at that price. Can't.
Oh yeah, for $20.
My weakness: $20 Mass Effect Andromeda. Sure, I'll buy it. When will I play it? Sometime in the future. Maybe
the very last one, right?
What's that?
Supposed to be the very last one.
The 6 is the last one with all the main characters. I don't know if they're gonna. They haven't said. The creator hadn't said if they're going to go through and like do another Yakuza series, but with a whole different cast, or what they're doing. They haven't said. But yeah, technically this is the last of the story of that story. So
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see.
Because
That's one of the
like an end, supposedly. That's what I've been reading. But you're right.
Yeah. It's one of the biggest selling franchises in Japan, so I can't
Making
see
Sega
them.
that sweet, sweet cash.
Yeah, I can't imagine them not doing some kind of Yakuza game, whether they continue with, a minor character of the series, or if they just completely start the series over with another.
They should start it over so that after a few games, you can then cross it over with the original cast and make a crazy event out of it.
Oh yeah, well, I could totally see them doing something like
Shenmue's
that.
gonna travel through time and somehow meet up with Kazuya.
There you go. Well, what's funny is there's a couple of Japanese versions of Yakuza that they never released in America, and they're both in feudal Japan. So they could, and it's the exact same characters, but in feudal Japan. So they could do something crazy.
What about?
Yeah, they're actually really, really cool.
We had talked about this before. What about the
I don't know
PSP spin-offs?
Japanese.
Because there's a couple games for PSP that are spin-offs of the main series as well.
Yeah, I
They
don't
never-
know
they
a
never
whole lot
made it
about
either.
those.
But they
It's
look
like I
kind
don't
of
remember
interesting.
those.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were only in Japan, and they were like a minor character
Huh?
from the story that some little side character dude. But I never played them
Yeah.
because they were really hard to get.
And plus, if they're in Japanese, unless someone puts a translation patch out.
Yeah, which I'm surprised somebody hasn't on the PSP. It's pretty easy to do that, but I guess people have to. It takes time to do that when it's just like two people sitting
Yeah.
behind a computer desk. So I'm planning on streaming some of that this week or next weekend, something like that, if I have some time. I picked up that. Of course, I had that Mulaka game pre-ordered. I played a little bit of it, not a whole lot of it.
How do you like that? There's a few little quirks with it, but it's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. It reminds me a lot of almost like Mario 64 or something. It's kind of weird the way the way it plays. It has a feeling of an N64 game. And the other one, we got a review code for Earthlock on the Switch, which has been out. I think it was I know it was a Games with Gold on Xbox. It may have even been PlayStation Plus too. I don't remember, but it's like a 2D RPG, but it's in the 3D world.
Yeah.
It's like, but it's
Cell shaded.
turn-based. That's the word I'm trying to think of. Is turn-based RPG. It's pretty cool. It's perfect for the Switch because to me, those are the kind of games that I like to play on the go anyway. So those role-playing games with the stories and the crazy characters and the collecting and the leveling and all that good stuff. But I mean, it's a fairly old game. I mean, I guess you could call it old. I think it came out in 2016 or 2017 on the PC or something like that. So another typical Switch or indie game port, which I won't complain about. I'd rather play them on that than I would on PS4 or something because I can just take them with me, play them wherever I want to play them.
Pick it up and play it anywhere.
But that's all I've been playing. Nathaniel, what'd you think? You said you've been playing the Life is Strange.
Well, I mean, they just put out the. I finished before
thing
the
the other day?
storm because it ended a while
Yeah.
ago, but they just put out the farewell bonus episode if you have the deluxe version of Before the Storm. And it's pretty
Gotcha.
short, maybe 2 hours ish, 3 hours. I forget how long I've played it. Probably closer to 2. Because a normal episode is like maybe 4 to 5 if you're going really, really slow and poking at every single thing. But it's good. Made me cry. Because it's all set like at when they're kids again. So it's Chloe and Max. And it's the original
okay.
voice actresses again. And so it's them
Oh,
as
is
like,
it?
I think,
Well, that's cool.
13,
All right,
14
finish
years
it
old.
this weekend.
And it's right before Max moves away to Seattle before the first Life is Strange, where she comes
Gotcha.
back.
So did you say is it included with the season pass or is it?
There is no
The deluxe,
season
right?
pass. It's the deluxe
Oh,
version
is it?
of it. So you basically paid for
Okay.
deluxe, whatever that meant. You got a few extra things,
See, I hadn't
including the
picked it up
farewell
yet, so-
thing.
They never made it available to people who didn't get the deluxe, did they?
You might be able to add it on now. I have no idea.
I don't know.
I just saw that it
I'll
was
look
out,
up
and I
while
was like,
you're-
okay, download it into my game. Whoop, go play.
Did you play it on PC
Yeah, that's
or
where I have it
is
as PC.
that where you played it? Okay, I just wondered.
Yeah, but it's really, really good. It's just
Yeah, I got through the
looking around
first
in,
episode.
Chloe's
I
house.
wanted the second one. So I'll go back to it. It was
So, yeah.
interesting. I liked it. It was a cool adventure game.
So yeah, this one's all set just in Chloe's house. You don't have multiple locations like you do in some other episodes of things. So it's not like a full episode. It's kind of like the one part of an episode in one location, and that's about the length of time it takes. But it's kind of like a little last hurrah kind of a deal, both for the game and also for just in the plot of it, with where it's set in time, of it's right before Max is going to move away.
Gotcha. That's cool. I like the first game. I haven't played the Before the Storm stuff.
I mean, you would like it if you like the first game.
Before the Storm's got some really good stuff in it, and I think that the first 2 episodes are great, and the 3rd episode kind of lets you down a little bit by the end of it, not quite tying up the story as much as you would want. And it almost feels like they could have done another episode or 2 of this story if they had wanted to, but it's still worth playing if you like Life is Strange. It's a little weird at first because the voices are different for everyone. And that's what lets the game down over some time, because the main 2 characters in Before the Storm are pretty well voiced, but a lot of the side characters are not. So they're just like a lot more lifeless than they were, especially recurring characters that like Chloe's mom and some of the other ones you've already met in the first game. They're voiced by different people. Bonus. The strike that was going on is just, it lets it down just a little bit to where you're like, oh, this could have been better, but for the most part, it's pretty good.
Did you get to continue the D&D game?
You can, if you make certain choices.
Gotcha.
I did not in mine, because there's a thing of, depending on like what happens in episode 2 of it, that if you do one choice, you can do more D&D in the 3rd episode, and if you do a different choice, you don't do D&D in the 3rd episode. Because I didn't even know you could until I was reading up on stuff of like, what if you make different choices? I'm like, oh man, dang it, I picked wrong.
It looks like the deluxe episode is available if you have the. I guess it looks like anybody can get it pretty much. I just looked.
I don't know. I'm on the PSN store just to see what it's like on PSN, and I can't buy the episodes separately. It says they have a store page for them, but it says unavailable. I don't know why.
Yeah, pretty sure you.
From what I thought, you could upgrade to deluxe at some point. There was a thing like if you bought regular, you could upgrade to deluxe.
There is.
So
it's $10
I'm assuming
on the
that's how you'd
store.
have to get it. I don't think you can just buy that one little episode by itself, probably.
Yeah.
Does deluxe come with anything else?
Let me see here. I can tell you real quick. It looks like it includes
you get some
episode
you get some outfits.
Mixtape mode.
Like a mixtape mode thing that I didn't do. I forgot it was there. The outfits are cool because the regular outfits in the game are they're okay, but the like DLC outfits that you get for deluxe are much better outfits. As you
tell you what, if you're still playing. If you're still playing on PS3 and you have not played Life is Strange, the complete first season is $2 on sale on PSN right now for PlayStation 3. Holy fright! Yeah, that's a whole lot of game for $2. If you
Jill's brother-in-law got me a game for Christmas this past year. I think I'm on like the 2nd or 3rd chapter.
Yeah, I need to pick it up. It was one of those ones that I was like, okay, I'll pick it up when they release everything, but I just never had.
Yeah, I was looking on Steam, and it looks like there is a thing with a deluxe upgrade, so that would be how you.
Yeah. Well, that's not bad. I mean, on PSN it's $10. I'm assuming that's probably what it is.
It probably is. It's just blanked out because I own it already, so it didn't tell me price.
Right. Yeah. So I mean, that's not bad. That's usually the price of an episode anyway. So I mean, that's fair. Cool. That's it? That's all you played?
Yeah, I've been busy doing other stuff, and then I've been more in the mood of like, hey, I want to watch this random Marvel movie. Let me pop the Blu-ray.
Well, that's what I've been doing when I come home from work. It's like I just, I'm like, the wife's not here. I got 3 hours to kill before she's ready to come home, so I'll watch.
I thought about playing something a couple times, and then I was just like, no, I don't feel like actually having to sit up and do something. I just want to like have something play in front of my face and just laze about on the couch.
Well, Thor came in the mail this week, so I had to watch it again for like the third or fourth time.
As well. It's a very, very good movie.
Yeah, Thor came Tuesday. Justice League will be here this Tuesday, and then the end of the. Yes,
no, it's only good compared to Batman v Superman, which is utter trash.
Drugs.
I saw Justice League in the theater, and it was terrible.
I did
It's so
too.
bad.
No, it
It
was
is
not
so
that. It was
bad.
not that bad.
It's not.
It is terrible.
It's not that bad.
It's so
No.
I didn't mind
so
Justice
so
League.
bad. So
No,
bad.
I mean,
it's
it
not
could-
that
could-
bad.
could-
When you look at all the other DC like stuff for cartoons or other movies and things, Justice League way on the bottom. It is a terrible adaptation.
No, I'm not. I'm not
Even
saying.
the
I'm not
looks
saying
makes
it's
it
like
more
upper
fun.
echelon of
Doesn't work.
DC stuff, but
It didn't
I
work.
don't know. I
The
liked it.
interactions were awkward. It was just still too much of the grim dark look, and then trying to put a different tone with it that doesn't work. It's all terrible CGI that doesn't work. It's a mess.
Man, I don't know.
They
what
don't
movie
know
he
how
must
to
have been
make
watching it.
DC movies
Some
there.
crazy movie theater.
No.
With
He must have got the
with,
rough
like
cut.
Vaseline on.
No.
Yeah, he must have got something.
No.
I don't know. It was,
I got the hey,
I mean-
you should know better. It should be able to make better movies at this point.
yeah, I
Like,
know, but
DC
I didn't
TV
think it was
is
horrible.
great. Previous DC movies before they got to Man of Steel and tried to make a shared universe thing, they've been great. Wonder
Oh, wait a minute! Time out! Time out! Time
but
out!
Man of Steel.
You telling me
everything
Batman
after-
and Robin and Batman Forever are great movies?
I'm telling you that the original
I'm staying out of this.
Batman.
Oh my
Oh,
lord!
Atlanta.
Then you have all the Nolan movies that are great. Even though I don't like the third
yeah.
one as well, it's still way better than Batman v Superman and Justice League. And it's not that good.
Oh,
I
well,
disagree.
yeah, that's
I
like,
prefer BVS and Justice League to the third Nolan movie.
Oh man,
I
I'd have to watch
like,
it again
I've
because I
liked the new
haven't seen the
stuff.
third one and I didn't like the third
Welcome
Nolan
to
movie at
Justice
all.
League
But I still think
versus
I'd like it
Marvel.
better
Yeah.
than these because they have not hit with me at all.
I enjoyed Justice League,
I'd
but
rather-
I also like Batman versus
I
Superman
want
too.
them
so.
to say, "Screw this live action crap. Let's go do the animated series again." Because that's
Yeah, I'm
the
fine with
best
that.
Batman.
Yeah,
Let's
I am
get-
too.
Get another
I'd be
master.
Started
fine.
rewatching those again.
Yeah, but no, I mean, I thought Justice League was just fine. I mean, I'm not saying it was like the greatest movie ever, but I tell you what, we saw Justice League and Thor back to back. We saw them together in the same day, and that at the end of the day, I actually liked Justice League better
John, I'm
than
with
Thor.
you.
But now, after
Thor
I've
is
watched
way,
Thor
way
another
better
again,
movie.
it's
It
better.
was a much better
It
movie.
is. Oh, it is.
My problem
but
with
like I
Thor
said,
is
Not
that
even
it looked-
close.
Neither of them were great, in my opinion. I thought both of them were pretty thin as far as story is concerned.
Thor's
I-
great.
I thought Superman CG was awful, and I do agree that they were pretty tonally weird in Justice League. There were some hit, some miss,
yeah.
but in Thor, everything just looked plastic to me, and it didn't do anything.
Weird.
Like it was fun. It was fun.
Well,
They were both fun
Plastic.
for me.
The only thing that's
But-
plastic is Jeff Goldblum. No.
the thing you got to remember with the Thor movie with Ragnarok is they went very Jack Kirby on it.
Yeah.
And if you've ever seen that 1966 Jack Kirby art style, I mean, they pulled those uniforms for some of those soldiers straight out of that comic book from the 60s. And that's why it looks that way. But that was what they were going for. It
Well, I
was
don't mean
supposed
the
to look
artistic
that way.
direction. Like there was a time when some rubble started falling, and it was bouncing off of them because it was plastic. And I'm just like,
They're
you
also
could have changed that in
gods.
post processing. You could have done something. They both messed up.
Eh.
They were both fun.
Yeah.
great.
I mean,
Thor's one of the best MCU
Justice
movies.
It's probably in my top 5. I haven't decided. I haven't went back and shuffled everything since Thor came out.
I need to
because-
rewatch
I need to do
Ant-Man.
that right before Infinity War, so I know my rankings, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I gotta. Well, my goal is I'm gonna watch all of them again before April rolls around. So I got time if I have enough time in the day to watch things. But anyway, Eric, after that, what have you been? What have you been playing? Anything?
Nothing.
Zero.
That's it. You've been playing nothing. You got nothing to talk about.
I got plenty to talk about. But I thought we were talking about, Justice League. I thought, I was
No, well, we're done. We're done talking about Justice
thinking
League.
about how much I like the other stuff. But anyway, I've been playing a ton of stuff. I went to Emerald City Comic Con last weekend in Seattle,
Yeah.
and Nintendo had a booth, and I played Kirby Star Allies and DK Tropical Freeze. Both of those, hardly any lines. They gave out posters for Kirby, and for Tropical Freeze, we got little like stuffed bananas. I'll have to dig it up. I'll put it in a big
Mhm.
bag. But both those games are fun. I like DK Tropical Freeze, but then as we discussed later this week, that price point, I don't know if I can bite at it. At
Yeah,
$60.
$60 is a
Isn't it
lot.
more
Tropical
expensive than what it
Freeze.
came out at?
Yeah, it came out at $50 on the Wii U, and it's coming out on the Switch at $60. I don't know.
Seems like a
I think
slap
they're
in the
asking
face.
a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, when we'll talk about the
Yeah, we can talk
Nintendo
about
Direct stuff later, but I don't know. It's kind of a weird. I figured it would be at least. I didn't figure it'd be any more than $50. I really figured
I was
it'd
hoping to
be
be
around
like,
40.
I was hoping
but-
like 30 to 40. I'm like, man, if they pump that out at 30,
Yeah.
people be like, heck yeah, gotta get that.
The only thing I could think of is it must be on one of the bigger cards. I don't remember how big. I've got it. I got the digital because I got it. I guess I got it free from the Nintendo Club, so on the Wii U. So I didn't pay anything for it to begin with. So it's like, well, $60, okay, but I don't know. I'd
I mean,
still rather
is it
see
a full
cheaper,
game?
but-
It's not like some half. Yes.
No,
Okay.
it's a full game.
So I mean,
It's a full game.
yeah, it would be great if they priced it
just
less,
a-
but I don't see why they'd have to.
I don't know. It's
I'm
just
sure
a
because
there's
port.
it's
60
because it's a
worth of
4-year-old
content.
game that launched at 50.
Yeah, but think of it this way: no one had a freaking Wii U.
That
Okay,
I did,
so-
I did, and
I
did.
hold on.
Uh-oh.
Percentages wise, no one had a Wii U. They're not marketing it towards
True.
the people who already played it on Wii U. They're marketing to all the Switch people who are like, "Look, it's a game." They might
So
not
we're
even
gonna
realize
punish
it already
them
came
by
out.
not having a Wii U and charging
And
them
so,
more money.
if it's a full price game and it has that much content in it, I don't see a problem with it. Like, yeah, sure,
I don't
everybody
know.
likes getting games cheaper, but that doesn't mean Nintendo has to sell it for that.
What you're telling me is if
True.
they launched a PS2 game on the PS4 and all they did was put it in 1080p, they should launch it at the normal price tag, $60, because it's the same content.
Sure.
No,
That doesn't
No.
mean that you have to like it, and I'm saying that you guys have to like it. You obviously don't, but I'm saying for me, I'm like $60, probably fine. Seems like it'd be like okay if they had
I'm not
like
saying that the
something that
game's
came
not
out
worth it. The
was a
game's
digital
worth
game
60.
that was $20, and then they tried to put it out for 60 on a disc, and it was the exact same thing. Then that's like okay, way different. But 50 to 60 is like all right. So I don't know. I don't get it.
I don't know. It just seems a little high to me for just.
But
a
I mean,
port.
with all these
Oh.
ports, you got to realize that Nintendo's not looking at them as just ports. They're looking at them as, hey,
Right.
these are brand new games for people on Switch that, some people also had Wii U and are aware they existed then. Not everybody did. And this is one of their big
Yeah.
main brands. And so they're not going to put it as a lower price point because it's Donkey Kong. They're not going to, cheapen it that way, even though they probably could sell it
They
for
did.
less. So,
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know.
you can. The sad
Also,
thing
it's because
is
the
you can buy
Switch
it
is super
for.
popular and has lots of stuff. They're not going to undercut we could make more money because we can get away with it at 60. But I don't think it's a slap
That's
in the
true.
face of anybody. Personally, I just think whatever.
I don't know.
More people
to
might
me,
be
if
likely
they-
to
if
get
they
it if they
would've-
priced it 40 or something. But
Yeah, and I think
Yeah.
that's what's going to happen. I think a lot of people, especially people who
Yeah.
were Wii U owners that moved over to the Switch, that's probably one that they won't.
yeah,
pick up.
Electric Maestro in the
Um,
chat says that they don't want the Wii U software to go to waste and be left largely unplayed, and that's kind of I think why we're getting a lot
Yeah.
of these ports. A lot more
Yeah.
people are going to play these games. That a lot of them are really good.
Yeah, because
Yeah, I mean,
Like me, I never
get
had
it.
a Wii
I
U,
just-
and I'm like, the more ports you can put over, the better. I'll play a lot of them.
Yeah, and I'm fine with the ports. It's just I don't know. It's like, Captain Toad is coming out. It's $40. That's how much it was on
Yeah.
the Wii U. I'm fine with that. It's but I already bought it on the Wii U for $40, and I'll buy it again on the Switch for $40. It's just when you buy, and that's why I say I didn't buy for Donkey Kong on the Wii U, so
Yeah.
$60. Yeah, I would like to have seen it cheaper, but it's okay. But a lot of people are going to go, well, I paid $50 for it on the Wii U. I'm not going to buy it on the Switch.
Well,
because
that's
it's
fine
$60.
because they've
I'll
already
wait.
played the game. But a lot of people that are
Right.
out there, they're not thinking of it as I'm buying it again. They'd be thinking of I'm buying it the first time.
Yeah, I get that. But what I'm saying too is it could end up shooting, backfiring a little bit because some of those repeat buyers won't buy
Yeah.
it, which in turn may not let it make it sell well. I mean, I don't know.
And in which case,
Donkey
price
Kong games are
might
not
drop.
huge.
It's not a Mario game, so it might drop a little, but it is Nintendo, so it probably
could.
won't drop that much if at all. So who
No,
knows?
not till they go to select.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just kind of, we're at a weird place where I could go. If you had a Wii U, you could go. I could go get that for $20
It
on the Wii
seems
U, or I
we're
can get it
kind
for
of in
$60
the
on the
transition
Switch.
phase of things that are made just for the Switch. I haven't really started heavily hitting yet, and we're still in kind of the
Yeah.
crossover land where they're like, "Oh crap, the Switch is way more popular, even than we wished it to be. We got to put some stuff out on it." So we're kind of still transitioning through that. So by the time we get to like this time next year, I think we'll have a lot more of just stuff. They're like, "Oh, hey, new Switch things."
Yeah. Yeah, and I think with a brand new Mario game coming out so quick and things like that, a lot of people look at it like, oh, well, this is just a rehash of or re-release of something. But
Okay.
I don't know, it just seemed weird. I figured it would be at least
Seems weird that
50
they put it on
bucks,
50
but-
because 50 wasn't even the price point of games at that point, and then it was still 60.
Yeah.
And then if it was going to be less than that, you'd figure they'd go all the way to 40. So being 50 in the middle seems a little odd.
Yeah, it was a little strange. I don't know why it was $50 to begin with. I guess that's probably why it ended up being free for Nintendo.
Sure.
Nintendo people, but that game's hard. That game is really hard. It gets
Yeah.
it gets super hard about halfway through it. So, that's the one thing where they added the Donkey Kong on the surfboard thing that could get through some of those
Yeah.
levels.
I'm not
because-
playing
Yeah,
to buy
they
the
were-
game, but not because of the price point, because I wasn't even planning to buy it when they announced it, because I just don't really like the Donkey Kong Country games as much. They're okay, but not
Yeah.
something I want to rush out and get.
That one was really, really fun.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. The thing about it is I didn't enjoy it enough that I'll probably buy it again.
Yeah.
That would probably be one of the one games that I won't buy again. Captain Toad,
I want
I'll
that
buy
one
it
for
again
sure.
because that thing has so much gameplay in it. I don't think I ever finished
And
it.
they're
on
even
the Wii
adding
U, so
content to that one, too.
Yeah,
levels.
and they're adding stuff to it. So it's like, I'll gladly... And when I saw it was $40, I was like, "Ooh, if they do that at 60, you're just going to see people just start flipping tables." It's like-
Yeah.
But anyway, tangent number 2. Go ahead, Eric. Talk about the rest of the
Hey,
stuff.
it's
that
not
you
our
were
show
talking
without
about.
tangents, man.
That's right.
Yeah, ain't that the truth?
It's all good going off a little off topic, then doing a few things. Anyway, yeah.
Anyway, so what did you think of the Kirby demo? I played it.
played it
I
too.
downloaded. I downloaded it off the EU store,
it's fun.
the UK
It was
store.
cool. It was very
They
entertaining.
have it in
My
our
wife
store
was.
now, too, in the U.S.
Well,
Yeah,
we
they
saw
finally
the-
did. I just got it the week before it came out here because I didn't know they were doing it. So I guess they had to wait
Yeah.
till after the Comic Con. So
Yeah, and
Something.
it was entertaining, and
Weird,
plus,
but-
Comic Con's not really a big gaming convention, so there was no line. It wasn't like
Yeah.
PAX. I was like, hey, I can go up and right play, and wait, 10 seconds, ask a few questions. When I played Tropical Freeze, I did play as Funky Kong, and that made it a little bit easier. But
yeah.
no, Kirby Star Rail is good. Probably get it. I know it's coming out pretty soon, but
Yeah, my impression was it was a very pretty, very good Kirby game. So it's not
It's
hard,
Kirby.
but it was fun.
giant pink vacuum that eats
Yeah,
stuff.
and that's what I like. I like Kirby game. I like my Kirby games to be cute, fun, and somewhat easy. I mean, somewhat. They don't have to be simple,
had, like,
but
2
I don't
levels.
I
want
like
them to-
the power up features. You can combine like
Yeah.
your buddy
Yeah.
and you, and then cool, now I got beam and the sword, and they're combined. And I'm doing more damage, and
My favorite
kinda-
was the flaming yo-yo that I got. That was fun.
Yeah, that was pretty good. I think I've played that demo 2 or 3 times. I ended up
So
ordering
you have
the
like
game,
2 different
so-
ones, and they have like the first level is set as like
and they have easy and they have hard.
and then the
yeah.
next one is like hard, but it's like barely any different difficulty level. At least for I found it was like
Yeah.
I'm still just going through hitting all these enemies. Because Kirby
Yeah,
is
it
not
was-
Dark Souls at all. They ever made
No.
a Dark Souls style
No.
Kirby, be like, "What are you doing? That's not right. It's not what Kirby's about."
Yeah, that would be hilarious though. You just walk out.
What if they
and
made
die.
like a Kirby Meat Boy crossover game that was really difficult?
Yeah,
Not even
That would be
Nah.
interesting.
that would be hilarious.
That'd
That would be
weird.
be like Kirby, like for Meat Boys jumping through things that like ground up and things.
And then
pink bits flying everywhere.
Kirby just eats meat, boy.
But it would be confetti.
Maybe confetti.
He would just turn into confetti, not meat. He would just, when he would shred it, just be like.
And then he takes off his shoes, and he has human feet or human hands.
Yeah, that whole thing. Oh, that was creepy. That was weird.
Nope, I'm good. I cannot unsee that.
Yeah.
So the other cool thing at Comic Con is I got to meet Will Wheaton, and I got his signature.
Will Wheaton?
Will Wheaton. And a photo.
Will Wheaton?
He's a nice guy.
Will Wheaton?
It was interesting. It was a good experience. But
That's cool.
played some other stuff. I've kind of been pretty busy. Last week, I saw a lot on Facebook, like 4 Wii games. None of them were interesting except for the lady had Arcade Hits, LA Machine Guns, and Gunblade. I don't know if you guys have played those games back in the day. Arcade
Gunblade, I played.
They're pretty much stand-up arcade games where you're just shooting. It's not like Time Crisis where you're ducking or using grenades. You're just holding down that gun and blasting things.
Right.
And she wanted $5 for it, and I'm like,
well, you can't
heck
pass
yeah.
that up.
And one of those games, LA Machine Guns, is still very fun to play. Gunblade, it does not age very well. But LA Machine Guns is still pretty cool. But it was neat because that's been on my list for a while. And at GameStop has it for $5, but none of the local stores have it. And I haven't seen it on the secondary market like on eBay. It's like $30. I'll just wait. It was cool to get that.
Yeah, it's getting hard to find Wii games like at GameStop and stuff. They've really sold through them because some of them are dirt cheap.
Yeah, and this would be one of them where I'd be like, heck yeah, but the secondary market's got a hold of it. I also got a new Wii Classic Pro controller, and so I tried that on NBA Jam. That works fantastic. So, NBA Jam's good way to test it, and I like NBA Jam. Yeah. Played some more of The Simpsons on PS3. I don't remember. I think I've gotten further than I got last time I played it, so this is promising. It'll get finished. I'll try to finish it. I'm so entertained by the game and all the the odd things that happen in the world and the characters. So, let's see. I played Rad Rogers on PC. I have a PS4 code too. That's a platformer. That was a Kickstarter. I think THQ bought the company and helped them publish it, and it plays a lot kind of like Commander Keen. It makes a lot of fun of other 2D platformers. It's fun. I'd recommend putting it on easy though. It's $20 on PS4. It's pretty tough, and then you don't have a lot of lives. Yeah. So, but
I got an email about that the other day, and I was like, this sounded familiar, but I couldn't remember what it was. And then now that you say it was Kickstarter, that's why.
Yeah, we might. Who knows? Maybe end up with a review code too. We do. It's entertaining. Let's see. I got the OG Xbox HDMI cable in recently. Hooked that up. Mm-hmm. I played some Burnout 3 and Panzer Dragoon Orta.
There you go.
Pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, good old Orta.
And Burnout 3 still looks good. So I was pretty impressed with that. I ran into a problem with the cable though on my chipped modded Xbox. It worked fine. I could play emulators. I played MAME stuff. No problem. Fired up my non-chipped Xbox, and it would only work for a few games and some of the emulators. I couldn't get Genesis emulators or the Nintendo emulator to work until I tinkered with video settings. Yep.
That's what I was going to say.
But the chipped Xbox, no problem right out of the box. I was like, well, that's interesting. But just, I figured it out. So it doesn't. That's weird. Yeah. And then I played, I also got a Blaze VGA adapter recently for the Dreamcast. And I played, fired up some Capcom versus SNK and some Dead or Alive 2. Looks pretty good. And the audio works and everything, the headphones, so pretty impressive.
Dreamcast looks fantastic and VGA.
At Dead or Alive 2. Dead or Alive 2, I was like,
some of them,
oh man.
Yeah. Some of them games, if you get an HDMI converter and hook it up to your TV and run it in 480p, some of them it'll just blow your mind.
Yeah, I was like, dang.
Real nice HD.
The only thing I couldn't figure out how to do is the Blaze VGA adapter has ports for running like AV connections in case the game doesn't support like VGA, and so I couldn't get that to work. I spent like a half an hour and I googled it, but I'll go back and tinker with it some more.
If you have a code breaker disc, you can actually force VGA. You can actually force VGA for everything. So,
and I finally this weekend I spent more time with the Retrocade, and I finally got Genesis ROMs to work on it. Genesis ROMs have to be bin files. And they won't work in any other format. MD or Gen is the other common ones. They have to be bin.
That's weird.
If you rename it bin, toss it on there, it'll play anything. I tossed all sorts of stuff at it. So.
Huh. Wonder that's very strange.
And so it's just running, I think it's running RetroArch, because it's based off of Android, but I don't know.
Yeah.
I tinkered with it a little bit, and then
It's weird.
I don't know. It's hard for me to recommend. I mean, for $60, you might be better off getting, like a Raspberry Pi setup. The only good, this, you just put in the ROMs on the SD card, plugging in the system, should work in theory, but it's a little more headache than that. So.
Yeah. That sounds like it if you've got to do different formats and this and that and that and this.
Yeah, but I played some cool arcade stuff. I fired up, like The Simpsons, and I fired up Predator and some other Capcom
Does the Punisher
stuff.
work on it?
The arcade version? Yep,
Yeah.
works like a champ. Played that a little bit.
That's the best.
telling me
That's the best
the version
version
I
to
should
play is
play.
the arcade version.
And
Yeah,
that's-
I mean it's cool to have it on the Genesis and all, but man, you play the arcade version on Raspberry Pi.
Runs like a dream. Yeah,
it looks good too.
and everything and even like it. I couldn't get all of Capcom's arcade games to go, but I managed to get Marvel vs. Capcom 1 going, and for the system handled it just fine. So I'm like, all right, well,
Yeah.
there's promise. It has a lot of promise. I think something like this would be good for like my nieces and nephews. Load it, or even a Pi. Put it, in a little cabinet. They got a couple controllers. Good to play. I mean, it's definitely better than the last one that Retrobit put out.
Yeah, that one was horrible.
The Generations. This thing is at least competent.
Yeah.
But good luck if you want artwork on all your game. That's another step and a half I was reading about. And I was like, yeah.
See, and that's why I like it on the Raspberry Pi. I just go scrape, boop, boop, bop, 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 beep, bop, and it's done.
Yep. Not like you can, you have
Just
to load
like
everything
that.
on the SD
Say
card.
that.
Just like that. Makes that noise. It does. It does. It goes
Bippity-boppity-boo.
beep, bop, bop, beep, bippity, boppity, boop.
Magic. So yeah,
That would be hilarious.
been playing a lot of stuff. I might have to go out and pick up like a Wii fighting game, like either Mortal Kombat or one of the other ones, just to see how well that Wii Pro, the original Wii Pro controller works to kind of put it to the test.
It worked pretty well. Because I've got
Stupid
one.
motion
I mean,
controls.
it
one. I
works.
don't
It
remember.
worked
I have to look.
well enough. They even made an arcade stick for that
They
thing.
do.
When
Capcom versus
Capcom versus
Tenutsu.
yeah, whatever that was. Yeah, I can't even remember
It's
now.
a
It's
Mad
been so
Catz
long.
fighting stick. It's actually, and I've heard good things about it. So, but that's it. I played a ton of stuff the last 3 or 4 days. And I'm sure there's stuff I missed, but go with all that for now. I was busy.
Yeah. No, one thing I want to, before we go on to the news, Electric in the chat had asked a few minutes ago about if you thought, hold on, my chat just rolled. He said, I want to ask, do you think there's any solid argument to be made that every Kirby game recently is looking to be the same game?
No.
I thought the same at first, but then I thought of games like Epic Yarn, Mass Attack, Rainbow Curse, which aren't really traditional Kirby games. I haven't played Mass Attack. Rainbow Curse was the claymation looking one that was on the Wii
Epic
U.
Yarn was
I
the
didn't
Wii
care
one, or was the Yarn
Yeah.
Wii one?
Yep.
Yeah, I liked Epic Yarn. I thought it was cool. The Rainbow Curse I just didn't like because it didn't feel like it should have been a Wii U game. It felt like it should have been a DS game. Because one, they're the 2D side scrollers, but the art style is so different that to me it didn't feel the same. The new demo of All Stars kind of feels like Rainbow Curse without all the stupid, I'm going to draw this to
gonna
this so
draw
you
a
can get across
bridge.
here
Oh.
and you can do...
I think Kirby is one of the series that does the best at mixing it up. Like they don't
It does,
go
yeah.
too far in one thing, but they always have like one little gimmick that's different, or an art style that's different to make it fresh, or just like do a mainline
Yeah.
Kirby game and then do a weird offshoot one, then come back to another one.
Kirby has become the game that Nintendo uses to just test new ideas on.
Yeah.
What can we do
Yeah.
with this style? Let's do Kirby and see what they do with it and see if it sticks.
Yeah. I like the Kirby games because, like I said a little while ago, that they're cute and fun, and they're not too difficult. So I don't have to get frustrated at a certain part
Yeah.
or something
And
like that. If I just want to sit down and chill and play a really fun 2D platformer. The Kirby is
'cause
it.
a lot of times
and
they
this
have
one's
fun
really
stuff
cool.
They're all
to do
great games
mechanics-wise.
except for the N64.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't want to talk about the N64. You know my feelings on that
It's like
whole system anyway.
it's like when I got
so
the collection for Wii, and I was running through game showing my wife Kirby, and then I came to that one and fired up. I was like, ugh.
Yeah.
Let's go back
well,
to the Super
and what I
Nintendo
like
one.
about the new one is cool is you can play up to 4 players
Mm-hmm.
with that. Couch co-op. I couldn't imagine playing with 4 people with the Kirby
But
game
even
like
in the
that. That would be
demo,
really
it was
cool.
all AI. It was still pretty good about picking out stuff you
Yeah.
wanted to do.
Yeah, and they weren't like dumb AI. They just weren't sitting there going, "Well, we might hit this guy." They would run up ahead of you and start whacking things before you even had a chance. Sometimes, so I liked it, but that's like Robert said. Kirby seems to be Nintendo's testing ground with stuff.
Yeah, they
now,
just use it
and
as a little playground to be like, ooh, what if we do this? What if we do that? Because they know
Yeah.
people aren't going to get that upset over Kirby games.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, Eric, you said in the chat you got Oregon Trail. Did you see the little portable Oregon Trail thing that Target
Those
has?
things sold out quick.
Yeah. So
Oh, I was at Target yesterday in Columbus. They had tons
Really?
of them. They had there must have been 20
Wow.
or 30 of them there.
yeah, I need to get
I
the
figured-
portable ones on my list.
It's my wife's favorite game, and she saw it, and she didn't even bat an eye. I figured she'd want to buy it. She didn't say anything about buying it, so I left it at that. I'm like, okay, if you don't want it, I mean, that's fine. But I didn't even know they made a card game of that. There's a card game of it, of Oregon Trail.
It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Every other card is you got dysentery and diet.
I also like Oregon Trail, which is for the PC. Have you played that? It's got Oregon Trail with
Yeah.
zombies.
I've heard of it.
Yeah,
It's kind of
I've heard
fun.
of it.
I'm
I
pretty sure.
haven't played it.
Yeah. You got dysentery
hilarious, though.
and an infection.
Yeah, and you've become a zombie.
Oh man,
What?
it's all out of stock. The Oregon Trail handheld is all out of stock around me locally. Dang it!
Oh man, if I'd realized you wanted one, I could have picked you up one because, like I said, the Target that I was at yesterday in Columbus, they must have had 20 or 30 copies of it just sitting on the shelf, right on the main aisle where you could see
Yeah,
it.
well, let me know if you see one.
If I bump into another one, I don't go to Target very often because we don't have a Target real
Yeah.
close. But next time I see one, I'll grab it. So, all right, well, let's get into the news real quick. There's not too much to talk about. State of Decay 2 now has a release date and price. I put price on there because people on Twitter this week, when they announced that the base game was going to be $29.99, or you could get the deluxe edition for $49.99. Everybody just started. A lot of people started screaming and hollering
It
that a
doesn't
brand
matter
new
what you
game for
price your game, no one's
$29.99.
happy.
Yeah, yeah, they weren't happy at all. They were like, "This is not a AAA game if it's
Some of
$30.
that-
It has to be."
Some of that might be because of Game Pass. Since it's going to be free on there, they don't want to alienate those who
Exactly.
aren't on Game Pass.
Yeah, well, and my thing is $30 to me is an excellent price point for the game. I played the first one on Xbox One when I got
Was that
my
one a
Xbox.
disc game or was that like a?
It was digital only.
online? Yeah, that's what.
No, it was. I had a disc. of it.
Oh, there was a
Later?
day
Yeah.
one edition or a collector's
Yeah, it
edition.
was a
or
day one
something.
edition because I got it from Redbox
Yeah.
for like
But
$5.
most probably
or something.
downloaded it.
Mm-hmm.
Probably. The major thing that I didn't like about that game was it was really fun to play. It was really cool, but it was so much a co-op game that you needed it. I had to have somebody that wanted to play with, but you couldn't because it was not. So this one has it, and for $30, and it's like this was my argument I made online with people. I'm like, look. You price that thing at $30, I'm more apt to buy it because there are tons of $60 games coming out between now and the end of the year. And if you held a gun to my head and said, pick 4 of these games, it's, State of Decay is not going to be one of the ones that I'm going to buy. But
What was the original game?
I'll probably have,
Do you know what it was priced at?
40?
I don't know because
Because I'm wondering the
probably-
scope-wise of what they have if they think it's not worth full 60, and they're hoping if by pricing it here, more people will get it.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember because, like I said, by the time I got an Xbox One and bought the game, I bought it at Redbox for $5.
think it was
So I have no idea how much it originally was. I'm guessing it was probably $30 or $40 too. I can't imagine it being much more than that. But it's a really, really cool game. But like Robert said, the Game Pass, here in 10 days will probably take off like wildfire because Sea of Thieves will be out by then. So people will probably pick up Game Pass. I'm going to pick up Game Pass when it comes out. I'm not going to buy Sea of Thieves.
Well, yeah,
I'm not going to spend $60
easiest way
on
to
it.
get it and things like that. So
Yeah, it's the cheapest way for me to get it. And
Save a
then,
few
like
bucks.
we said a couple weeks ago, when friends stop playing it, all I got to do is move on to another game. I don't have, I didn't pay $60 for something that I played for 2 or 3 hours, and then everybody, well, no pun intended, but jump ship. But and then here comes State of Decay 2, so it's like, well, I'll keep that, and then everybody will come back. So I don't know. I didn't think $30 was a horrible price point for it. I think they just want to sell it.
It's $30 for a year, right?
Oh no! I'm talking about State of
State
Decay.
of Decay. Okay, I was thinking Game Pass.
It's Game Pass is $10 a
$10
month.
month,
There is
so
no
120 a year. Still not bad. Though.
120 a year. It's still not bad, especially since all their
Every
games are going to be on their day one.
Microsoft first-party game will be free on there.
Yeah. So well, I mean, Sea of Thieves is $60.
Do those
so
games go away once you cancel the service, though? I would assume.
Like,
Yes.
Now,
they'll
what would
go
be
away
nice
when
is
you
if you
cancel
paid
service.
for certain months, and then after however many months is the full price of a game, if they could give you credit, be like, okay, you could pick one of the ones to keep or something like that. It's really
Yeah, that would be
complicated,
cool.
but I'm sure.
I know at one time they were going to do discounts
Yeah.
for Game Pass people if you wanted to buy. I don't know if they're still doing that. So, but they may. You may.
Yeah, because
be able
that'd
to
be
get
a
a little
easier
cheaper.
way to do it. But yeah, do a discount or something like, hey, you've got this game, but you don't want to keep the service, but you want to keep your game.
Yeah, it'll be all right. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't understand the hate.
Yeah.
I mean, my reply on Twitter to everybody was, no, I demand that they sell
I
that
don't
game for
think State of
$60,
Decay
and
is
then they
a
boom me in a
game anyway.
season.
That's
No,
not what
I
I,
don't
have
either.
it in my head. So it's like, whatever.
No, it's like, but like I said on Twitter, I demand they sell it for $60, sell me a season pass for $50, and then have loot boxes in there that block my way to get through, and charge me $5 a loot box to be able
Have
to
loot
finish the
boxes
game.
that take away your ownership of the game, so you have to buy it again.
Yeah, that's even better. Why didn't I think of that?
Get
Man.
real evil.
Yeah, that would have been really bad. Just a little while ago, earlier today, Tomb Raider 1 and 3 apparently are going to get remasters
I already did
on
one.
PC.
Man.
Tomb Raider Anniversary.
Did they? See, well, yeah,
That's
I
Tomb
forgot
Raider
about
1.
that.
Remastered. In the
Remastered, so-
Legends engine, I think, at the time.
Apparently, the updated remasters will be free to all of those who already own the original games on either DOS or Steam.
They must be
I don't know
either
how.
pricing them really, really low, or they just figure, who cares if people just go rush to buy it on Steam, because those games are not that expensive. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing, this just happens, it's just happened to do this a week before the movie came
How
out.
about that?
Well,
Gee, who would have thought?
thought about that. When you get done seeing the movie, come play the old
Play
games
the old
from,
games that have nothing to do
PlayStation
with the
1.
movie.
Yeah, absolutely. So,
You too can find
But,
a T-Rex.
yeah, really. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just funny how things
Raider
like that
1 is
happen.
pretty good.
I'm just- yeah,
Sure.
I like three.
I don't-
Three's good. I think I never finished one, but I think I got most of the way through two. So it could be good as long as they look good. That's gonna be rough.
I
Yeah,
haven't
I've
played them
played
in
all
100
the way through
years, so
one. Those games are definitely more old school style of the way they do the
Mhm.
puzzles. You got to actually think about stuff and run around to different places and come back and remember your way through some things that you don't see in kind of modern game design as much.
Yeah.
yeah. I like I said, it's been long enough that I haven't played them since the PS1
Hey, you can
days,
swan
so
dive
I
off
would
of cliffs. It's great.
play 'em, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everybody wants to swan dive off. That's what you need to do.
I
That's
mean,
what you got to do.
come on. And you can do the little weird like
That's what's there
kick flip
for.
up a ledge. I think you can even do that in one. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
Uh,
It's been so long since I played it.
Ollie, I don't remember either. Yeah, it's been so long. So, Tom Clancy's The Division 2 was announced this week.
Why?
Other than that, that's
Just
it. They didn't
announce
give you
it at E3,
any other
guys.
details.
You're
Yeah,
robbing
Weird.
yourself.
Weird they didn't wait.
If you're just gonna say,
Yeah.
"Hey, this game's gonna be at E3," you're robbing yourself a hype.
yeah, it kind of is. But they didn't say anything other than it was coming. That's
And
all
then
they
that we
said.
say,
so.
well, yeah, we assume.
Duh. So, So I'm guessing we'll probably see maybe some early stuff. They didn't even say how far out it's going to be, or how long it's
Probably a
gonna be or
ways,
anything like
I would
that.
guess.
I would
I
think.
hope
I
it's
can't
a completely
imagine.
different city somewhere.
Yeah, I hope so too. I enjoyed the story of the
It was
Division and the play. The end game was not that great, but the journey
I mean,
to
they've
that end
added a
game
whole
I
lot
really
of stuff
enjoyed.
to the Division since it came out that makes the end game a
Yeah.
whole lot better. I haven't. Some of my friends have played it. I haven't gone back to it, but there's quite
I
a bit
haven't
of
either.
stuff
I
there
mean-
that was not when it first launched.
I know
I need
my friends
to.
are trying
I'd
to
like to
coax
go
it
back
back,
to
and I
it.
was like, "Hi."
I liked it. I liked
It
it,
was
a
not a
lot,
bad
but
game.
I thought
I
it was.
didn't. I
thought
didn't
it
give
was
that
pretty
one a
fun,
chance.
It was okay.
I was playing Destiny, and I was just like, I don't got time for two of these.
I mean, yeah, it's basically
Yes.
just Destiny style game in a different setting.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I liked about it. And then I didn't go back to Destiny. So. But then I didn't go back
But
to
yeah,
Division. So it
I've
was like,
played that and I played Destiny 2, and I'm just like, yeah, that style of game was just not something I stick with for a long time. I play kind of like the main content through kind of once, and then I'm done with it. I don't want to grind it
Yeah.
forever like some people do. It's not for me.
yeah, I don't either. But I enjoyed. I like post-apocalyptic. So
Mm-hmm.
you know, depending on what they do with it, I might pick it up. It depends. If not a lot of people, not a lot of my buddies are playing it, I probably won't. But I say I'll pick it up. I probably won't have time to play a game like that anymore.
He's like, "I'm gonna get it cheap."
It's a
and then
very
maybe
pretty
play it.
game. The shooting mechanics were pretty good, so yeah, it's not bad.
I liked it. Yeah, so I always like getting cool guns. So, Xbox One cross-platform support is announced for Fortnite. I don't know if anybody plays Fortnite.
I played it a
but
few times.
It will have cross-play, cross-progression, and cross-purchase between Xbox One, PC, Mac, and iOS, and Android when it comes out on Android here. They did not say that it would be cross-support with PS4.
No, it won't be.
It is cross support with PC. That is it.
Yeah, so
It's gonna be the same
Here we go
as
again
like
with this.
Rocket League, where they have it between like
Yep.
PC and one platform, but they're not gonna have it where those two come together just because Sony's like,
Sony
we
just
don't
being
need to
a jerk."
care. We have plenty of players here. We don't need to guarantee it with having the Xbox play with us too.
yeah, I guess it just seems weird.
Get over
is
it.
that how much does it? How much does Fortnite cost? Is that a free to play?
Battle Royale is free.
And
I
then
don't
the
know what the other
game
one is.
mode that's like a defeat the night or whatever the heck they call
Save
it,
the
that no one
world or
plays
something.
anymore because Battle Royale mode. That one you had to pay for. I don't know if it went free to play yet. It was originally
It has not.
It was supposed to go free to play at some point this year, but then
Gotcha.
when they had so much success with the Battle Royale mode, who knows what their plans are now?
Gotcha. Well, I thought that was interesting. Anyway, I don't play Fortnite, but to
It's a
open
cool
it up
game.
to cross-play is pretty cool. Yeah, I keep hearing rumors that it's going to come to Switch. If they could get it running on
They'll put it on
Switch, it'd be cool.
If it's running on mobile, it can run on Switch.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would think.
and the art style
that's
translates well because it's not like realistic. The cartoony graphics really, even if you like lower the number of polygons, would still look good on Switch.
Yeah. So, and that's a kind of game that
The only
there's
thing that would
nothing
be
like
weird
that on
is I don't
Switch,
know
so.
that Switch has the kind of platform for free to play stuff
That's
necessarily.
an interesting
Yeah.
thing.
So that might be a hiccup
Yeah.
in it, but as far as just the game itself running on it, it could probably do wonders.
Oh, I'm sure. Gabe Newell says that Valve is going to start shipping games again.
Sure, Gabe.
Oh, where's my Half-Life 3?
Half-Life 3 confirmed.
How
That's
about
what
we
that
just
is.
stop with Half-Life 3 confirmed and just do like anything 3 confirmed? I don't care which one it is, Valve. Just do a number 3 of any of your series.
Yeah, of anything. Yeah. I mean, it was just kind of something he threw out in an article or a press presentation or something like that. I don't.
Well, the
remember
thing
what
that
it
I
was
saw
at,
that
but he just-
interested me is that he's talking about having envy of Nintendo, where they can do hardware and software, and how like Miyamoto can
Yeah.
think of hardware and how he wants controllers to be when he's talking about a new Mario game. So I think
Yeah.
that this is just them saying, "Hey, we want to do some VR games, maybe because we can, have a hand in the hardware now, and we can do the games too." Who knows?
Well, if I had a VR, I
Yes.
would say Half-Life VR would be awesome, but Half-Life makes me sick just playing on a screen, so I can only imagine what it would do on VR.
Yeah, give you a portal gun in VR, you're dying.
Did
Oh,
Portal do
my
that
gosh,
to you
yeah.
as well? Is it just the Source engine, or is it just Half-Life?
Not so much. Portal did it a little bit, but not as much as Half-Life
Because like
did, and I
Portal
don't know
1
why.
is exactly like Half-Life as far as just how
Yeah.
it feels to like move around in that one. Portal 2 feels a lot different to me just from
Yeah,
playing.
and I don't remember. I may have never really played a lot of Portal 1. I know I played a lot of Portal 2.
Yeah, but Portal 1, the graphics and everything are totally Half-Life because that's where they pulled it from because of trying to
Yeah.
put the Narbacular Drop or whatever it was called. That was the student project when they came in. It was kind of like, we'll set this in the Half-Life universe so we don't have to create all new things. We can pull assets from over here to kind of overhaul,
Yeah.
everything. And it's definitely very much a Half-Life art style.
Yeah. I can't. I know Half-Life just. I mean, I love to play the game, but I can only
man.
play it. In,
Half-Life 2
Verse.
and Half-Life 1 to a little lesser extent, although some people will probably flip-flop it. For me, Half-Life 2 is my favorite of those. But they're some of my favorite
Yeah,
games
it
ever.
was my
They're so
favorite.
good.
two is one of my.
I like 2
favorites,
just because it's a big
Oh.
road trip. It's fun.
Yeah, it was really fun. So, before we get into the Nintendo Direct news, we'll ease in with Electric's question. He says, speaking of which, do you think 3DS should retire completely in 2019, 2020? I'm thinking the dual system dynamic would have been emphasized on since the Switch is just a one screen. I don't know.
Should,
I
as
mean-
debatable, will they? No, because there's still a ton of people with 3DSs out
Right.
there.
Yeah.
They're not going to
Well,
stop.
and that's the thing is
It's still
every year that thing sells a bunch.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
Because I think
it's-
that one is a little easier as far as like, hey, I'll give it to little Timmy as his handheld system
Mhm.
versus a Switch is a little bit more expensive feeling, or just more like
Yeah.
you don't want them
Well,
taking it
I guess-
everywhere.
What is a 2DS now? XL? Is it 200 or 150?
200?
I haven't looked at
120?
prices.
I think it's 200.
Haven't
I'm sure
either.
you could
but-
easily get one for about $100 if you pay attention to sales.
I have
Oh,
no
yeah.
problem
Well,
with
yeah,
them
Black Friday,
supporting the 3DS. Though I just wish that they would bring those ports and upres and whatever it is they're doing on there over to the Switch as
I
well.
mean, sometimes that would make sense. Sometimes it wouldn't, just on the type of game
Yeah.
it would. But their Captain Toad is
there's-
going to both, so do I.
Yeah, I mean,
Can't
there's
well, as we
there are
segue
some-
into the
Yeah.
Nintendo Direct stuff, like Luigi's Mansion, there's no reason that couldn't be on the Switch.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That one was a weird
Yeah.
one, but but there are some games. Some companies are doing both a 3DS version and a Switch version. It really
Yeah.
just kind of depends.
I think
on
it
the
depends on
company and
when
the
they
game.
started doing it, because I think we're still seeing some things here in the next half a year
Mm-hmm.
at least that are started for 3DS, and they didn't know the Switch existed at the time, or they just didn't have that scoped out, and so they were just doing a 3DS version of it. And so, kind of pivoting to add a Switch version might not have really worked at that point.
And he says he's prioritizing people in theoretically terms of Switch over 3DS. I think you're already seeing
Yeah, they're
that.
starting to switch over.
Games are starting to wind down on the. There used to be a ton of 3DS games coming out every week on. But now it's kind of slowed down there. I don't know of any really huge big titles other than Detective Pikachu. Let me roll down here in the notes. If this one even, you got Detective Pikachu in March. Luigi's Mansion, WarioWare Gold, the Mario and Luigi Bowser's Inside Story, which that looked really cool. How you go inside Bowser.
Wasn't that a DS game? I'm trying to remember
Oh,
what they ported
It
from.
was, yeah.
That
Yeah,
one's
it
supposed to
was.
be pretty good from what I remember.
Yeah,
I don't
so that looked pretty cool. And I mean that was all they had on the Direct. I mean you saw way more on the Switch than you saw
Yeah.
on the 3DS on the Direct.
There's a lot of cool
we'll
stuff
hit
in there.
on-
I thought it was a pretty good Direct.
It was a pretty good Direct. I was at first. I'm not a Smash Brothers fan, so when they announced Super Smash Brothers, I went, it's all
I was
right.
watching
I'm okay with
a
that.
stream of where there was people watching it.
Oh
And
my gosh,
they're
yeah,
big,
losing their
big
minds.
Smash Brothers fans. So as soon as that thing at the end shows up, they're just like freaking out. It was great.
I've heard. My question is, and it's what we don't know. Is it going to be a port of the one from the Wii U, or is it going to be an entirely new Smash game.
I'm thinking it's going to be like as entirely new as a Smash game ever is, because they're all like, "Hey, look, here's a
Yeah.
lot of the same stages and characters."
I think it's
But,
going to be
I don't
kind
know.
of similar.
But yeah, it's
And,
like it's a Smash game. Ever since like Melee on, they've all been very similar, and then they just have a few different
Yeah.
stages or a few different characters or a few different like power ups and things that they add or whatever. But as far as how the game plays, generally they're fairly similar. I mean, there's probably a couple modes and
Yeah.
things I'm forgetting about that they've added since Melee, but yeah.
And it could be one of those things where it's the base game is based, the base game is based on the Wii U version,
Yeah.
and then they just add new levels and stuff
I
like
wouldn't
that.
even be
and call it
surprised.
I think it's
a-
going to be a sequel using the same assets, kind of like how
Yeah.
Splatoon was.
Yeah.
Splatoon 2 was
Mhm.
to the first game, where
That's
it
a
was
good
a brand new
comparison.
game, but it was,
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so
wasn't
too.
built
I think so
from the
too.
ground up, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. I mean, I don't see how they could get it out that fast, building it from the ground up.
Yeah.
Especially with
unless it's been in development a
Well, I
longer than
mean,
we thought.
when the Wii U version came out, all I remember is like every month they would announce like a new character. And it was like 2 years it seemed like they were announcing new stuff for it before it finally came out.
Yeah,
These games take a long time. There's like 50 characters they got to fine tune. There's no way this is
Yeah, yeah.
brand new everything.
They've been working
Yeah,
on it for
I-
a while apparently though, because there was a
Well, I mean, it's been
interview
4
with,
years since the
I
last
forget
one
the main
came
guy's
out.
name, but he's working on it again.
Sakura, is that who it
Yeah.
was?
yeah.
He's like as kind of like Kojima for a while was like, "This is my last one," and then he comes back and does another one. So he keeps saying that for every Smash game, and yet he's still working on this one. And they've apparently been working on it for a while. Who knows how long that is?
Yeah. Yeah, but like I said,
Well, I mean-
apparently it's going to have Splatoon
If-
characters in it, which the one on the Wii U
If
did.
they were working on it for a while, like before the Switch came out to this point, that's still a couple years at least that they could have been working on this. So they could
Yeah.
have been doing this for quite a while. We just didn't know about it enough.
It could be. I mean, and clearly it's easy to port from the Wii U to the Switch, so it could even be that they were originally working on another Smash Brothers for the Wii U and just said, "Well, we'll just go ahead and."
I
put
doubt
it
they
on
were
the
doing
Switch and
another
build it
Smash
from
Bros.
there."
for the Wii U.
I doubt it either.
But I bet this probably
Yeah.
is they're like, all right, let's take this as a base. We've got all of like
Mm-hmm.
the assets for a lot of the stages are going to be the same, and a lot of the characters like Mario, you're not going to change between Wii U and Switch because it's not going to be that big of a huge different graphically that you could polish it up a little bit, but for the most part that work's already done, and then build on top of that. So let's add some more stages, figure out what licenses for other characters we can add in or just ones that Nintendo has, and pile on top of it,
Yeah.
because that's pretty much what they've done with Smash anyway. Is like each version comes out like, oh, let's pile on more stuff, here's the stuff that you like.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet somewhere that was funny. It was like contradicting itself. We want it exactly the same, but we want new stuff and we want it different. But don't you dare change this. But then it's just
We want new
Yeah,
and
but
the
don't
same.
change it.
because that's
As long
exactly
as they don't add
how
more
they are.
Fire Emblem characters.
There's quite a few in there already. Yes, we don't need that.
Yeah, let's see, 1, 2,
And they're all just
3,
like,
4.
okay, yet another sword character. No, I saw one that was interesting
gotta
that
at
I
least-
would love to see is because
Counting my amiibos to see how many they have. This is the only one
it's
I
probably
bought.
because it just came out on other platforms and it's going to be coming to the Switch's Okami. They wanted the Amaterasu or whatever the dog's name is from that game as a character. I
Yeah,
would like that. That would be cool because it'd be completely.
yeah, that would be cool. Yeah, that would be really cool. Let's see. Speaking of Splatoon, there'll be a new single-player expansion for Splatoon.
That trailer was weird.
Coming.
Like,
It was
what am
weird.
I even watching right
You
now?
know-
I have no idea. You're just like
You know-
walking through a subway.
What was hilarious was it was at 5:00 here, so me and the wife had just got home from work. We sat down, we were eating dinner, and I had the YouTube up watching the stream. And they got to the part where they were doing the Splatoon thing, and that little trailer thing went on so long. My wife just looked at me and said, "What the crap are they doing?" I go, "I have no
Splatoon is
idea."
popular enough they
I have
can
no
figure they can spend
idea.
time on it, I guess.
It is a very popular game. So, but yeah, it was about 2 minutes too long. I thought the trailer
The
thing.
thing
was.
I liked a lot was the extended look at Mario Tennis Aces. That game looks like fun.
I'm so excited for that game.
Yeah, I am very, very, very
I
excited for
want
that
to see
one.
more about the single player.
Yeah, And it'll be out the 22nd of June. Going back to the Splatoon expansion, it's going to be $19.99. I think you could pre-purchase it today. You do have to, of course, have to have the full version of the game to use the DLC. I don't know who would think that they wouldn't. And there's a update for Splatoon 2 coming next month, the 3.0, that adds quite a bit of stuff.
Lots of gear,
and
like
it's a
3
free
new
update.
stages, 4 new stages, something like that.
Yep. Kirby's All-Star, or Kirby Star Allies. I keep wanting to call it All-Star Allies. I don't know why. That comes out this week. They kind of had they finally nailed down a release date for Octopath Traveler. That's July 13th. They have a special edition coming
This
out. It's
game cracks me up
$100.
so much because I think originally they were probably planning on naming it something else, but because enough people behind it really thinking it looked cool and talking about Octopath Traveler, they're just like, oh fine, we'll drop the project and just call it that.
Yeah, it seemed like it was like a code name for
Yeah.
a game.
It
you know,
was,
this
yeah.
is and,
Although
yeah, and then they just
it kind
kept
of
it.
makes sense because isn't it supposed to be like 8 main characters you can go on different things with?
Something
So it
like
sort
that,
of
yeah.
makes sense, but yeah, it's a very Japanesey weird name.
Yeah, I played the
I
demo,
did too.
and it was pretty cool. I pre-ordered it. It's a $60 game. I didn't think it was going to be like a full blown. Thought it was going to be more of a Setsuna 10-hour RPG. I didn't think it was going to be a huge,
Apparently not.
30, 40-hour RPG. But yeah, so apparently it's going to be a lot to do in it, which I'm okay with that. But the collector's edition looked cool. I don't think I'm going to spend $100 on it though.
Yeah.
Of course, we said Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker will be out July 13th. It is $39.99. They are adding Super Mario Odyssey levels to it. And it's coming out on the 3DS as well, which is pretty cool. A lot of people were surprised that Crash Bandicoot trilogy was coming out on the Switch. I don't know
Came
Yeah,
out
that does
on
not-
the
coming out
other
on the
platform,
Xbox.
So why not here?
Yeah, well, it just came out on PS4 first, and then Xbox One and Switch were coming later. But everybody, for some reason, was
Maybe
very
because
surprised
you could
about
get
that.
Crash and Smash Brothers. Why not?
That's a
They've
good
had
puzzle.
other
Yeah,
characters that comes in there that aren't Nintendo for a game or two. So
Yep.
why not?
Okami HD was also announced for the 3DS, or not for the 3DS, for the Switch.
I want it.
I was very happy about that. I do too. I was hoping it would be physical, but I think it's going to be digital only,
I
is
think
my
that's what that
understanding. That's
says,
what I
yeah.
got from the press conference. I really wanted it because I really wanted some cool box art to put on the shelf.
It's easy. All you have to do is go find the old IGN art that has the IGN watermark and print it out in exactly like what you would get in a store. Do you remember that from the
Why do
Wii?
I want IGN? Yeah, I
Well,
do.
if
do
I
remember
still
that.
had that, I could show you because mine definitely had that IGN watermark in it. It's so weird.
Yeah, it was strange, but I don't know. I'm excited. I really like that game. I think it'd be perfect on the Switch.
Yeah, that's one I
go.
think that would be really pretty for a handheld mode. With
Yeah, I think so too. South Park Fractured But Whole is coming out on the Switch. It's April 24th.
I mean,
it's a good new game. It's like, okay, some people are gonna want it.
I'm sure it'll sell.
Some
Even though
people
I'm
will
not
want it.
interested. It's like, okay, yeah, that's a
If
good
you
get.
Yeah.
if you played the first one and you really like South Park, get it. But it's hard for me to recommend after playing this one on PS4, and I was like, well, I don't have any desire to go back to that. Or at least on the other one, Stick of Truth, I was like, yeah, I kind of want
Yeah.
to go back and play it a second time.
I'm not a big fan of South Park, so I mean, it looks like it's a solid.
It'll
game,
sell.
gameplay wise.
It's a good addition.
Yeah,
Good addition.
it'll sell well. I was surprised to see it.
Yeah, it's good.
That one was one that I didn't. It kind of came to me. It kind of came out from left field. I wasn't expecting to see that
It was a
one.
surprise.
Speaking of coming out of left field, Sushi Striker: The Way of Shushido, or how
Sushido.
that game looks insane, but it looks like
That's
it
an
might be
example
fun.
of a game that was for 3DS that they're now doing a Switch version to.
Yeah, that is. But it actually looks
Yeah, it
pretty
looked
cool.
like a fun little
I
kind
don't-
of puzzle battle game or whatever that is.
Yeah, I'm not real sure what you'd call it, but puzzle action.
It's
I don't
kind
know.
of a little difficult to tell exactly what you were doing with it, but it looks cool with all the like things exploding on screen and sushi getting
Yeah.
eaten.
I hope they do a demo. I would like to play it. Of course, Dark Souls Remastered will be out May 25th.
This is
They
the
do
first
it.
amiibo I'm tempted to buy.
Yeah. Well, I tell you what. If you want it, I have read that it's only available at GameStop and it is very
Well, that's
limited.
dumb.
That is dumb.
Yeah. So
They should know that
they have the
like there's people that I know on Twitter from a couple of them are huge Dark Souls fans that like casually like the Nintendo stuff. They like play some of the bigger ones, but as soon as like that came out, they're like, "I'm buying it, pre-ordered."
Yeah. Yeah, but that's it. It's definitely a really cool looking amiibo. It does I haven't played Dark Souls, so it does the praise of the sun gesture.
Yeah,
if you
well,
tap
that's
it in
exactly
the
what
game.
the amiibo doing with your hands in the air. That
Yeah,
gesture.
doing the
There's a bunch
hands
of
in the
other
air.
gestures
Yeah,
in the
that
game,
gesture,
but
so.
they're not as good as praise the sun. And if
Yeah,
you can
so
do it with
that's pretty
reckless
cool.
abandon, you should just like go through the whole game. Just like have someone next to you just to tap it all the time, so that you're just like playing it, and then just like every spare moment you're just doing that.
Here, tap this for me. Tap this for me. Tap this for me. Don't stop. Just tap, 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 tap. They showed a little trailer for the Travis Strikes Again, No More Heroes
Game's on my
game.
list.
It
Yeah,
looks
I
pretty
guess.
cool. It looks very different.
There's no release date, right? We're still sort of waiting.
They just
Yeah,
said this
it's like
year
this
is
year,
all
yeah.
they said. Yeah, so looked pretty cool. Little Nightmares Complete Edition. I know a lot of people were pretty happy to see that game coming to the Switch.
I don't know much about
I
it,
don't know
but
a whole lot
it looks
about
cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. Undertale has finally been announced for the
Might
Switch.
finally
Eventually.
get
No
a chance to play
telling
it.
when the launch day.
Eventually, I love that. It was funny.
Yeah, that was pretty funny. Hyrule Warriors, of course, got a launch date May 18th. And then they talked about the ARMS Open online tournament.
Please
thing.
buy ARMS, guys. It still exists.
Yeah. Apparently, ARMS has got a very good following of people who like it. I bought the game thinking I might like it, and I just didn't care for it that much.
It's all okay, but it didn't
it's
even do.
okay.
It didn't do nearly as well as Splatoon, which I would put in kind
No,
of a similar camp.
No. Yeah, and I bought Splatoon 2, and I hardly play it, but I liked Splatoon 2 better than I liked ARMS. But
Yeah.
I mean, if you like fighting games, it can get really technical. But I'm not a big ARMS fan. But yeah, so I mean, it was a short little half-hour thing. You know, the big announcement was Smash Brothers.
I love all the memes that have come out of it, where people taking the
gosh.
end part of that little trailer and like replacing what's reflecting in the eyeball. Or the best one that I saw was like they still kept it the Smash logo on fire, but then it cut away to footage from Raiders of the Lost Ark of all people melting from the fire.
all their faces melting. Yeah, I mean, there's a huge. Like I said, I'm not a Smash Brothers person, but there is a huge following for
I
Smash
love
Brothers.
Smash
and
Brothers. I
people really
played
like it.
who knows how many hours of Melee back in college. I played a little bit of Brawl on the Wii, but I just didn't get into it
Yeah.
that well. But this one I really want to play because I think that the online hopefully will be a much better at this point because they've had through the Wii U enough stuff to get better at it. So
Apparently, it was really
Yeah.
good on the online on the Wii U, but you know, that's one Wii U game I didn't buy. But yeah, I played a ton of Smash
So,
on the N64.
it's not quite the same as having a bunch of people in a dorm that can just hang out and come in and play Smash Brothers and you do like impromptu tournaments and stuff, but it'll still be fun.
Yeah. We'll take one last question from the chat room before we call it a show. Unless, is there anything else that you guys miss
No,
anything
you
news
pretty
wise?
much-
I don't
That
think so.
was
Got it. It was a little quiet week on the news.
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Yeah, the direct was the big thing. And let's see. So Far Sender asks, will there be a time that Sony will have to create more multiplayer-focused games? I love their single-player offerings, but the market is leaning towards esports.
Strongly
How will the
disagree.
effect of? Yeah, I don't know. How will this affect PlayStation in the future? I don't know. I wouldn't say if it's leaning towards esports. I mean, esports is gathering steam.
I'll say
I don't
esports
think.
is popular as far as just like lots of games are streaming now, so you have several different ones that are quote unquote esports, whether they're actually esports or just like you watch people playing them, kind of similar, but it's not like an organized tournament or anything. There's lots of that, but there's way more games in the market that have nothing to do with esports that people still love to play. So it's there's games
Sony's
of many
dabbled in
different
it a little
types.
bit.
Yeah.
With Bluefin Digital and Gran Turismo Sport, that's all catered towards online sport racing. They're not throwing it aside. They have acknowledged it, but Sony needs to continue doing what they do well, and that is
Yeah.
narrative, story based single player games.
Well, there's plenty
They
of
do
third
have stuff.
party that they have that's multiplayer
Absolutely.
because they don't feel that they have to, so they're going to do what they
Well,
want
that's
to
true
do and
too.
do it
I
well.
think they just need to make it, accessible for those other companies to have their esport titles on the PlayStation Network and make the PlayStation Network a place where people want to participate in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, would that go hand in hand with doing more cross-platform stuff?
I would think so. That would be a game changer if everyone could play together.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sony just.
I know Sony doesn't need, they don't necessarily need that, because they have a huge player base.
It's the same as the 360 was last time. Microsoft didn't want to do a lot of these things because they didn't have to. So now Sony's in that position and they're kind of doing the same thing. Because the way they see it is like, oh, it'll take money away from us or something, or we just don't want to do it because it's complicated. We don't have to. Whatever the reason, they're just like, it's not going to hurt us to not do it. Yeah, they might gain some stuff from doing it, but I guess they see it as something that's not enough of a net gain to actually bother doing that, at least to this point.
Yeah.
But it would be cool.
Yeah. Yeah, it would be really neat. Yeah, I mean, esports is it's really weird. I don't watch a lot of esports or keep up with a lot of esports, but I'll be flipping through. I think there's a whole channel on PlayStation View that's nothing but esports. And every once in a while, I'll flip it over there, or we'll be flipping through watching something on TBS, and then at 10 o'clock, the esports stuff comes on, and I'm like, wait a minute, on TBS, they're showing Rocket League and Counter-Strike, and, they were showing this big, behind-the-scenes Counter-Strike stuff, and I mean, it's really a big thing. It's really weird.
Call me when they start putting the MOBAs on there, because that does not have a mass appeal to people who don't know how to play it. So that's why those are super popular online, but you're not going to see them on a major TV network anywhere. Whereas with Rocket League, you can watch it and kind of understand what's going on, and to a certain extent, same with Counter-Strike. But it's a lot less obtuse games than what MOBAs usually are, as far as just knowing what's going on. You can see all the stuff happening, but you don't necessarily know what relates to what unless you've actually kind of played it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I like Farcinder. I like Sony's single player games. He says, single player exclusive games is why I like PlayStation. He said the only reason I brought it up at all was because I'm hearing from friends that play Xbox that they don't like PlayStation because of multiplayer offerings.
Yeah, but what's on Xbox that is an Xbox only thing that's multiplayer? There's a few. So
that's exactly what I was just getting ready to
maybe
ask.
In there a little bit, but
no.
But
it's like multiplayer that's huge, just like Call of Duty that's everywhere, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's not.
And Battlefield and Battlefront.
It's all the third-party titles.
Yeah, I can't think of anything that's exclusive other than.
I mean, there's a few.
PUBG.
There's what is the fighting game that's free to play on Xbox? It's my brain is failing me right now.
Killer
Instinct is a multiplayer thing that's done well enough for them over time. And there's a few, but it's not main thing that people would play. It's like you play Call of Duty on PlayStation or Xbox, that doesn't matter. You can play Battlefields, other big multiplayer things on whatever platform you're on, pretty much.
I mean, other than PUBG, I can't think of any games, online that are popular online that's not on.
And the only reason it's not there is because Microsoft paid them money.
Right?
I'm sure PlayStation would love to have PUBG on there. They have Fortnite, and people are playing that there. I would assume.
Yep. Halo was online, but I mean, I don't think it's. I don't want to say I don't think it's the biggest presence as it used to be.
Is Halo even at MLG anymore?
What's
that? Halo even at MLG anymore?
Yes, it is, and they actually have a tournament, and they're actually having one in Columbus, Ohio, and it's sold out in 10 minutes.
Whoa.
Which one are they playing?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like I say, I just happen to be skimming over news stories and and I happened to see that it sold out in Columbus in 10 minutes for the Halo
That's
Championship or
crazy.
something like that. And I went,
For
what? Are
participants
you
or
serious?
watchers?
Oh man.
No, for people, to go
Wow.
see it. I mean, it sold out in some, wherever they were hosting at. It's like 3,000 or 4,000 people, and it just sold out like
crazy.
that. So, I mean, that's why I say I hate to say, well, there's Halo, but nobody's really playing Halo online anymore. But
there's
maybe
some, but it's not-
maybe there are.
Halo as a franchise just isn't as big as it used to be because it's gone on so long. Same with
Yeah.
some other franchises. Like anytime you get past like 3 or 4 games, it's starting to get long in the tooth, and you're not building as much excitement over it, except
Yeah.
for like the hardcore people who are just like in that franchise. Really like
Yeah,
it.
I don't know. I mean, I know PUBG's a big game, but I can't see it. And this is maybe just me who doesn't play a ton of multiplayer games. I can't see it being the choice system over one than another. But I mean, I guess if you like that kind of game, but
If you want to play PUBG, play it on PC because, well, I don't
Yeah.
know. Maybe they fixed the Xbox version at this point, but when they launched
They
it, it
have
was
patches
terrible.
coming all the
apparently.
time.
yeah, it just seems
But
like if I was
also,
going to play
they
it,
have
that's
to
where I would play
overhaul
it.
the inventory system a lot to work on console controls better because it's very much a PC interface for that.
Yeah,
So if you're trying to do something
Yeah.
quickly, it's not built for sticks. It's built for dragging with a mouse.
yeah, and that's I don't know. That's
I
the
think it
way
can
I
play
see
really
it
good
too.
on the console, and I think that's part of what the Xbox version is. They're figuring that out as they go because it's still like early access or whatever they call it on Xbox. So
Well, and as far as I know, they're still going to bring mouse and keyboard support to the Xbox One. So there
Which
you go.
I think is dumb.
That'll help too. Yeah,
I think a
mean,
console
at this
should
point,
not
it's like,
ever have mouse and keyboard just because it gives you a kind of unfair advantage because like half the people that
Yeah.
are playing aren't going to do that because they either just don't know they can or they want to play with a controller.
the only time I've ever been okay with keyboard support on a console is playing a MMO,
Sure.
where I have
Yeah.
to talk to somebody.
Yeah.
and type.
MMO,
That's the only time that I've
RTS.
ever seen any reason to have I've only seen a reason to have it. It's like, other than that, if I want to play with a mouse and keyboard, I'll just play it on the PC and sit at the desk and play it. And
Or even
'cause
set at your
to me,
TV and play it because
Well,
there's
yeah.
many options to hook up to your TV from your PC
Exactly.
these days anyway. So if you really wanted that experience, you can get it.
yeah, it just seems weird, but whatever. To each his own, I guess.
Yeah, that's the great thing about
whatever.
where we're at in games right now is there's plenty of different games for all types of different people.
Mm-hmm.
There's something
Yeah.
out there you're probably going to enjoy.
There's something for everyone.
In fact, there's probably more things out there that you will enjoy than you can even have time to play.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think we're almost reaching a point where it's almost too much, or at least for working
Spoiled for
adults.
choice,
Anyway,
yeah.
if I was I tell you what though, if I was 12 to 17 living in this time and being a video game lover that I was when I was 12 to 17, holy crap, I would just be it would be over
Yeah.
with.
There's
back
so
then it
many
was like
options.
yeah, back then it was Genesis and Super Nintendo, and maybe Atari or Jaguar or something like that, 3DO or something. But most people were playing Genesis and Sega. And that was it, and it was great. And a game came out every month that we just had to have.
I was
and
playing
now
tons and
it's
tons
like-
of shareware games on PC. And I would go to
Yeah.
like the PC like store that sold some games on one wall that they had some stuff and get like 1,001 games. Yes, I'll get this, and they're all trash. But hey, it's lots of games, right?
Yeah.
And you have to launch them from
See-
DOS.
Farsender says, he says he had four friends, a lot of friends, but 4 people bought Call of Duty
No, they bought Xbox.
that I used to play Call of Duty with, all bought Xbox One X just to play PUBG.
Sure, I guess if you really want to play PUBG.
I guess. I mean,
It's an expensive game.
to me,
Yeah.
that is a way expensive game. I mean, I know they're giving it away with Xbox One X, but it's like $500 just to play one game.
That's still
I mean,
in open beta
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah,
I mean,
I-
it's a system seller if there was anyone because it's super
Yeah.
popular enough that that doesn't surprise me that someone would buy a system for it.
yeah, I wouldn't, but that's just
It's a
me.
little
The only
weird, but
games I buy systems for is, well, there isn't really a certain game that I buy. Well, that's the only reason why I really keep playing the PlayStation 4 is because of Yakuza
My
games.
PlayStations
I
I,
just
bought
play
for
it
games, so I got a PlayStation 3 because I wanted to play the Uncharted games. It was right before Uncharted
Yeah,
2.
that's why.
And then
That's
I got,
yeah,
I
that's
got my
why I got
PlayStation 4
PlayStation 3.
eventually, finally, because Horizon came out and I could play Uncharted 4. So
Yeah,
That's why I
I
got
mean
those
that's
systems.
pretty much why I've got a PS4 now. Is just
But,
play games I
there
can't
are also
play anywhere
other
else,
games
so.
that I also wanted to play on there too, but I mostly bought it just for that.
Yeah. I'll move my shoulder. There's my white Xbox One, that doesn't get played very often anymore. But
There it is.
but it's there. See, it's right there. It's sucking power and saying, "Hey, we're doing updates all the time. You ever going to come play it?"
Come hang out.
I don't know. Eventually, at some point, when it gets warmer down here. But
When Xbox puts out something you want to play,
yeah, when they put out something I want to play, Sea of Thieves will be out.
Yeah.
I guess I'll play it for a little while.
gotta say I can't play that
All
game
right, well.
because I don't have Windows 10.
Oh, is it Windows 10 only? That
Sure.
sucks. I didn't realize
I
that.
think you can
It's
only
like,
get it
man,
through the
I
Windows Store, but I could be wrong.
Gotcha. Well, that'd be cool because I was like, I want to play it.
That's
I need
all right.
somebody to.
I look at it and it's kind of fun to watch it, but I think as a game to play it, just for me particularly, that I would play for a little bit and be done. So I'm not that sad that I can't play it, but it does look like a lot of fun,
Yeah.
especially if you had people to play it with.
It's well, and that's what I was gonna say. I've played a couple of the betas, and if you got a bunch of people to play with, it's fun as
Yeah.
crap because one guy's controlling the sails, and other guy's driving the boat, and other guys are on the cannons. It's really cool, but man, when you try to do just you can get in a single boat by yourself, but you have to do all that stuff at the same time. It's just like, okay, let me steer it this way now. I want to slow down, and it's like, no, it's just
You gotta have a whole crew.
it's not cool. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's more fun with players, so, or more fun with a crew. So, yeah. So, all right. Well, we're going to call that a show. Like I said, I know this week I'm going to try to stream some Yakuza 6 sometime when in the evenings when I don't have when I'm done with work. Hopefully, I don't know. I don't know if anybody else is streaming this week or not. I know last week or the week before last, we had at least 3 days worth of streams, and it was pretty good. So, hopefully, we'll have some more live streams this week. I know Robert did, Dennis did, Matt did. So there was 3, and then, I didn't get a chance to. I did some little unboxing things with the Mega Cats games that we got in, but I didn't get a chance to actually play any games. We've been kind of busy around here, but that busyness is going away. So I think I'll be able to play a little bit more, and I want to play some Yakuza before it comes out, before my review comes out. So I think I'm going to do it on the stream. Just me hanging out, having a blast. So, but other than that, anybody else got anything going on?
Nope.
Nothing. Everybody just living a boring life. Huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Boring.
It's all right. I'm so boring. All right. Let me save this real quick before I forget. But let's see. Show.
Should the show title be "I'm So Boring"?
So boring.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Let me write that down before I forget. Because